You know you have a good episode of Kaguya-sama Love is War on your hands when you have an entire after-credits scene focused on being a parody of a shoujo anime slash manga. This episode is just absolutely incredible for being so meta. It's meta. Like, there's so many things that really just show different forms of comedy that you've come to know and love from the series. I mean, you have Hayasaka moments, you have the shoujo parody, as I already mentioned, you have the whole reverse fan service, there's self-aware jokes, there's so much within this episode. I'm gonna say it, this is the best episode. I really doubt there's going to be pretty much any episode of Kaguya-sama Love is War to really beat this in a while. Like, it's that good. Like, this is honestly some top quality stuff, because I could not breathe while watching this. I was laughing so much, because, like, the entire episode is just, like, one long progressive build-up to a joke, which is just basically fan service, but reverse fan service in a very, I guess, ecchi episode, and it's something you don't really expect from a Kaguya-sama episode, because, like, there has been fan service within this series, yes, but it's very rare, but on top of that, it's not really as in-your-face about it as how this episode was. I think this is the first time we've really ever seen this series go so far in your face with some of this level of comedy. It's like an untapped, like, water hole when it comes to, you know, Kaguya-sama. This level of comedy I really haven't seen from the series, and it honestly just, like I said, it blew me away. So I guess let's just, I gotta talk about it. Can we just talk about how Ishigami and Shirogane was just doing ugh. Now, I'm not representing or saying the exact same thing they were saying, but the point is, they were, like, making noises continuously in the background. If you go to the scene and watch it after the ending credits scene where Kaguya's just, like, fangasming, she's like, oh my god, like, they're looking at me and all that, and you just hear the voice actors of Ishigami and Shirogane just making an ugh sound continuously, and it just builds up, and it's kind of being represented as like a heartbeat. I'm just like, oh my god. Like, it's been a while since an anime made me actually do this. Like, I was like, oh, like I got embarrassed, because it just, like, it's so wholesome, funny, cringy, all into one package, and it just, like, I love it. I love this type of stuff, and just, like, that entire sequence at the end really was a cherry on top to such an amazing episode, because, I mean, I never would have thought I would have seen such a Chad like, you know, Shirogane. Like, he legitimately was acting like a Chad towards Kaguya throughout that entire sequence. I mean, the man hid the tickets to kind of confess to Kaguya, basically saying, like, hey, you know, let's go and go to the aquarium. Or, you know, you have Ishigami, he's fighting back against Shirogane, he's like, oh, I owe her one, we should go to the aquarium together. And it's just, like, the entire interaction with the two characters, or the main male characters interacting with Kaguya, is just, like, whoa, they were so, I guess, up in your face about it, and it's such a different theme from what we're normally used to, which is why I think this episode is just so amazing, is because it's not something you're used to. It's an untapped realm of comedy that I don't think this series has really touched much, and this is a really good showcasing that, kind of flipping the personalities and, like, using tropes and, I guess, cliches of, you know, shoujo manga and anime to your advantage to really tell an interesting parody moment of an episode. And speaking of which, I have to say, when it comes to capturing the beauty of shoujo, this episode did a fantastic job with it. Like, that entire parody sequence was fantastic for that. Like, I did not expect to see them truly capture the elements of what a shoujo is. Honestly, it's something that's kind of hard to do, I think, because shoujo is actually, I know many know it's about romance and all that, okay? It's like a girl's manga, but there's more to it than just that. There's a lot when it comes to, like, the design of characters, when it comes to just the way the characters present themselves, the atmosphere it gives off, the entirety of that ending sequence of the episode fills that vibe. Like, it fits it so much, because it's just, like, you don't expect it from the series that has, like, a different edge to it, and when you see that, you're just like, whoa, this is just such a different level I've never seen, and I don't know, just the point is, I enjoyed that segment. It is easily one of my favorite moments of the entire series of Kaguya, and as I've already said when I started this video, it's gonna be hard to beat that for me. Like, that was a really good moment. Like, I cannot believe just how good that was, but there is even more that is amazing within this episode, though, and that is the innuendos and the self-aware jokes, the meta, etc. So I guess let's get into Hayasaka, because it's a very quick moment, but it's just, whoa. I like how Hayasaka at this point has just gotten so tired of Kaguya's crap. Like, she's so tired of Kaguya being someone that's not able to, like, say her feelings to Shirogane, but she confides in Hayasaka, and Hayasaka tells her like it is. And Hayasaka's just so done with Kaguya. She actually starts to mock her when Kaguya's like, sit, and she's constantly saying it, and you even have Hayasaka actually mock what Kaguya is saying with the messed up version. I'm just like, wow, like, that is just really funny, rude, all in one package, and I'm just like, yeah, it really just shows. She's so tired of Kaguya, she's like, just get with him, like, just go after him, like, legitimately lay him down and go after him, and I'm just like, wow, she's just being really upfront about that to Kaguya, and Kaguya actually acting all embarrassed, so I'm surprised she kind of even really understands or comprehends what that is after just seeing how, like, you know, I guess, unaware of certain things are, especially with, Fujiwara, Chika having to look up what boxer briefs is for a guy wearing it, and, like, the term that she looked up on Siri, which I cannot say in the video, because, YouTube doesn't like those words. But the point is just that I'm surprised she knew what that was, but Hayasaka made fun of her, and just, oh man, that's another good moment on just a fantastic episode. So I guess, since I already talked about it, let's talk about Chika. So, Chika had a great moment, like multiple great moments throughout this episode, especially when it came to the spoiler section. And this is where this is a different form of comedy that kind of separated from everything else that happened within the episode. It's very self-aware, honestly, and it's actually something that has happened so much on both sides of the playing field. Like, I have been one that's been like Chika, that is spoiled something, but I've also been someone that has been spoiled as well through a conversation what was going on with this episode. It's very realistic, because she's so excited about the series, she just downright says it, and it kind of ruins the whole point of reading the series. I'm just like, wow, like, you just came in and just ruined it for her, and I'm just like, this is honestly funny, because the way they grabbed her is like, stop it, you spoiler girl, trying to shut her up and all that, but then after they shut her up and don't allow her to speak, they start speaking and talking about the series, because they're just talking there around others that don't know about it, and they just straight up spoil Kaguya even more than Chika already has. I'm just like, this entire segment I relate with. Like, this has happened, I've been on both sides, I've been in Kaguya's shoes, I've been in Chika's shoes, I know how that situation is, and I think many have been in that type of situation. I know many have been in this situation with a lot of TV shows, not just anime, but TV shows, movies, etc. And I'm just like, wow, I really just can't believe, like, how perfectly that captured that emotion. But then we also got the stuff with the recommendations when it comes to recommending shoujo manga, etc. Personally, I'm not one to really get embarrassed about reading shoujo manga or anime, because, like, I like what I love, and I've always been honest, I love romance. It's one of my favorite genres. I know I don't talk about a lot of romance series often, but it is something I do really enjoy. There's some good stuff there, and I see both sides of the topic when we have the recommendation going on within the episode, from Ishigami's standpoint, Shiragani's standpoint, Chika's standpoint. I kind of understand what was going on there. Like, I understand all those type of, like, viewpoints on a series. Like, I'm someone that has read a lot of manga and watched a lot of anime, and when you watch enough anime or read enough manga, you tend to start noticing patterns. You see things that are obviously the same. They start melding together. It goes for anything, not just romance, it goes for any type of genre, honestly. Not even anime, but also for movies, TV series, games, etc. Things do start to just meld together eventually, and you kind of quickly understand that there is certain things are being built up for an obvious, let's say, sad moment, or a character death, etc., or, a turnaround where everybody is happy, safe, and all that, and, this is the common tropes and stuff you see within story writing, and Ishigami basically mentioning that, like, he's seen this time and time again. There's a lot of stories that do this, and he knew that the sadness was coming, but then he turned around and got sad on top of that. I relate with that. I legitimately relate with that. Like, there's been a lot of series I knew something bad was gonna happen, and I know a character was potentially going to die, etc. It's very obvious, but I still get sad because it's just like, I don't know, I get into the series. I'm someone that gets emotionally attached to a story when I read it, and I'm able to imagine said characters actually interacting, like, in my head. So, it's just like, I understand, you know, Ishigami's viewpoint. And then I also understand Shiragane's viewpoint of how he was just someone that was getting all engrossed in this story, but he was also embarrassed to really talk about it much because he was a guy, and, you know, reading a romance series might seem very embarrassing, and I was like this when I first started reading shoujo as well, so I understand that too. So just, there's a lot within this episode that just dives into some meta topics that I just think that Kaguya-sama did a really good job with, and this is a fantastic episode for a lot of reasons, but if I had to say the one thing that really made me appreciate this is just how it really kind of talked about, like, a commentary on shoujo manga and anime, and kind of how people get into them or how people don't get into them, like the whole vibe and theme that the series give off. I think that this episode did a good job of that. So, anything else really left to talk about? I guess Miko. I want to talk about her before I wrap up this video. As I said in my previous episode review, Miko, I'm very happy to see her added within this story. She's honestly a blessing on this series because, like, you have these characters that we're used to. They're always kind of serious, but not really serious. They're joking around, having a good time. Miko is that type of character that is very straightforward, very serious, not someone that is used to the antics of the student council. And her being introduced to the weird antics of what Kaguya and Shirogane, Ishigami, and Chika does is very exciting because it's kind of like what she's going through is what we went through when we first started this series, when we see some of the things that happen on screen, and it's kind of like she's the audience in a way. Like, Miko is literally the audience in our reaction, especially when it comes to certain things that happen, and I just think that there's a lot of good moments that she's had already within this episode with the student council. Like, I really love how Kaguya had no idea what she was saying or what Miko was interpreting when, you know, Miko walked in the door and she's like, oh, you want to join us and all that? She's like, no, I'm a novice, and she, like, backs off, and she's like, whoa, was that what I thought it was? Was that type of joke? I'm just like, oh, okay, we'll just, we'll stop there, but I'm just like, yeah, that was a thing, and I'm just, I like Miko. She's a good character, and I'm glad she's been added to the cast. It's honestly one of the best things to happen to Kaguya-sama, just because we need a character like her. She's a great character to fit the mold of the series and give a new viewpoint that we haven't really seen tackled yet from the story. But I'll leave it at that. I love you guys. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. If you enjoy my content, you know, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.